Good evening. How's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Monday night, 9:45 p.m. California time. March 10th, 2025 is the date here. Latest activity shows an earthquake in Northern California right here on the Petrolia station. That's from a 2.6 within the last 10 minutes here, striking just off the coast, right on the plate boundary. Now, USGS only showing, no earthquakes up here aside from this earthquake today, so hard to say if there's actually been any or not. For the most part, they're not reporting any of the smaller ones, but there is a 2.6 right now. Let me double check the tremor map here, see what we got for Cascadia subduction zone tremor, which shows nothing. All right, so that's quick and easy. Up around the Washington area, a couple smaller earthquakes around the Cascades and some of the volcanoes, but really nothing major to report out there across Seattle for now. For the Bay region, got this little movement earlier this morning just outside of San Francisco. But aside from that, things look like they've calmed down there for now. A couple earthquakes here around the Bakersfield area. And as far as the movement out in the Los Angeles region, Malibu area, the last earthquake being reported as a 2.6 just before noon today. Still seeing a sequence of events down there. Not over yet. We get these little periods of increasing movement followed up by a few days of quiet and then a repeat cycle. But of course, during these elevated events, got to make sure you're prepared, because I think that's a time when things could get interesting during the elevated moments. A couple earthquakes there across Los Angeles and the San Jacinto fault zone. Some movement down in San Diego. It's been a little while since we've seen movement down there. A few ones, but nothing big out there for now. Across the rest of the country here, western half, pretty quiet. Nothing major going on there across Yellowstone. But want to double check here real quick, see what we have. And there's not a whole lot. Those blue lines out there, the darker blue lines, are just wind events from earlier today. But maybe a little earthquake there last night, early this morning around the promontory. But nothing major going on out there. Across the area of Texas and Oklahoma, a little bit of movement out there across the oil fields. Eastern portion of the country, awfully quiet. Still seeing some movement around the Puerto Rico Trench. Got to watch that because it's capable of producing some larger earthquake activity, and it's been getting the squeeze put on it here recently. We look at the last 30 days of earthquakes around this region, showing 220 earthquakes of various magnitudes. No big earthquake activity, but got to watch that subduction zone or the trench zone there. The Big Island of Hawaii, a little odd 3.4, but this is on the northwest coast here of the Big Island, 21 miles deep. That normally will play a part due to the weight out here on the North American plate. But nothing big. I'm kind of curious to see about the eruption. Did we come back into eruption right now? Let's go take a look here at the webcam. Should be getting close. I said it this morning that maybe it'd be tonight or tomorrow morning. There's a little bit of glow down there. I think it's getting ready. So let's see the deformation data out here real quick. We've been going up here since the pause in the eruption back on the 5th. It's been taking about 5 to 6 days or so for it to resume enough volume in order to produce an eruption. So I think what we're seeing there is just the start of it, maybe, because it's matching up to previous levels here seen during the eruption. So watch that. That's coming in tonight. Around Japan, a couple more earthquakes, including south here off the Nankai Trough, that subduction zone area. Got another earthquake earlier today, a 5.3 and looks like a 4.6 in there as well. Brings up the total tally here in this little cluster of quakes up to about 8. Nothing major happening there on the Nankai Trough yet, but that is definitely in the future here for some big earthquake activity. The rest of the models out here. New Zealand 4-pointer down here across South Island. That's been a fairly active area as well for earthquake activity. Nothing big happening yet. That's another area that can have some large earthquake movement. Getting a return of deeper activity here across the Fiji region. That should escalate some quake activity here across that quiet zone. We're about Papua New Guinea eastward here. Looks like there's a little bit more activity than what the USGS is showing here. A couple threes further down along the plate boundary. That's there just shy of the Nankai Trough. Aside from that, man, a bunch of movement up north here. Following that 6-pointer. Got a bunch of fours stirring up out there now. It's a little bit going on underneath the oceanic crust here, causing some convection and creating some earthquakes out there. Space weather. Well, what happened here? Oh, we're getting the typical blackout that occurs every 24 hours there. The spacecraft that detects or picks up the solar flare detection is it's getting blacked out there due to the I believe it's the Earth getting in the way. All right, not a whole lot of flaring going on, as you can see. We do have a newer sunspot 4021 out there on the eastern limb. Welcome that to the visible disk here of the sun. Not really expecting much from it, though. It looks fairly weak in terms of magnetic complexity. But it never fails, man. Never fails. I was watching this area a little bit with some complexity going on, but I think it's taking a little back seat there. I don't see any too much activity stirring up there. And we should be looking at a couple more regions coming around the eastern limb here soon. We'll take a look here at the far side watch, see what's going on here on the sun. This is put out today. Here's our newer regions here. Really not impressed. I guess there's another area back here, but it's hard to tell if this is going to be of anything of noteworthy value. And aside from that, man, there's not much back behind that. Thank you. Brought me something to drink. Missy Mimi's here. Say hi.
How's it going, guys?
Hopefully you can hear her on the mic there. Brought me something to drink here. Heard me coughing. I don't know what it is. As soon as I turn on the microphone, it's cough, cough. But I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, we'll watch. Like I say, there's not a whole lot going on there across the even the far side of the sun. This is the Earth-facing side. Just have to wait and see what happens here. Things are really not all that happening. There's a newer area back here, but that's off on the western limb here, and that's going to be out of sight, out of mind. Not a huge flare threat right now. I'm forecasting a 1% or less for X flare. This is just what Solar Ham's showing here. M flare, 30%. That's probably reasonable. Nothing major going on here for the auroras. Severe weather out here. Got somewhat of a big day coming up here. I should say the weekend, it looks like, around day 5, day 6. So it's going to be Friday and Saturday. Got 30% there on the map due to a massive low pressure system that's going to first slam into California. Not this one down here. That's aimed at Southern Cal. But the one behind it, that's going to bring a decent amount of precipitation here in my neck of the woods. That low pressure is going to quickly travel here across the country and stir up some severe weather this weekend right about here. And quite a bit of rainfall coming in as well across this area. So watch for that. I think that's going to be some tornado potential out there this weekend. We'll cover that as we get a little bit closer. Another storm system there across the west coast as we head into early next week, and of course that interacts with the environment over here. Not for sure if we're going to see too much severe weather spin up, but it's a little early call. Either way, I have to keep an eye on things, see how Mother Nature wants to handle the weather out here. Either way, it doesn't look boring, that's for sure. Got a good mix of early spring weather going on. All right, nothing going on here across the graphs for now. Pretty quiet across the board, but you know, it's anything can happen at any given time out here. So just be prepared, folks. Aside from that, hope everyone has a good night. Don't forget the member drawing is coming up here on the 15th. Here in about 5 days. Jump on board and become a member today to win some cash prizes or Earthmaster merchandise or geology kits. Take your pick. And we'll do that drawing here with the members and pick out a lucky winner Aside from that, folks, I am out of here. Have yourself a good evening. We'll see you guys back out here in the morning. Stay safe.